Welcome, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for our March coffee chat. Today with me is Dr. Antonious Jackson from Dallas, Texas. He is my little brother. Dr. Tony, thank you for joining me for my second coffee chat this year.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much. Well, I wanted to talk to you about living a creative life over 50 because you're 50 or 51?
51.
51. So you are getting into living your creative life over 50. So, Dr. Tony, what motivates you to live your creative life?
I think my family. My family motivates me to live a creative life. You know, family, immediate family, sisters and brothers, watching how they progress in life, and seeing how um, they're enjoying life. They lay a very wonderful pathway for me to follow. So it makes it a lot easier.
So, let me back up a little bit and talk a little bit about your education and what you've been doing these years. So, you have a number of degrees. Let me tell you, you have more degrees than the normal person. So,
Correct.
you definitely believe in education. You are a chiropractor, you are a BSN nurse, and you are a certified nurse practitioner. Tell me about getting all of those degrees.
Hmm. Well, as you know, when you and I first moved to Dallas in 1994, um, we were just kind of working and making ends meet. I was sitting at my job, and I seen this guy drive by in an exotic car, and at that moment, I knew that I wanted a little bit more, but I didn't know how to. So I followed him, and I sat down, talked to him, and he told me exactly what he did. He was a chiropractor. We're still friends to this day. And with that motivation, I entered chiropractic school, and it was probably one of the hardest, most wonderful things I've ever done.
Wow. Yeah. And you did this, you had a family through all of these degrees. And so, what advice would you give young people, especially young Black men? What advice would you give them to help them in their journey? Because you were young when you went to chiropractic school.
I was 24 when I started. Get out of your own way. Allow yourself to fly as high as you would like to. The sky's the limit for sure, in anything that you want or desire to do. It's just having the passion behind it to push you. My children, my wife, they've been my fuel for success over the past few years. Well, I mean the entire time. And as a young man, we go from being young men to, well, kids, teenagers to young men, and at that point, we really don't know what we want to do in life. Um, and something strikes you, and then you actually start pushing that way. The thing that we don't want to look at is we don't want to narrow our minds down to just professional basketball. Like Barack says, everybody can aspire to be Little Wayne, or aspire to be Little Wayne. Um, but the thing is that there's more to life than that. I never saw myself as a doctor, but my mother and my sisters and brothers, they really pushed me to grow and be more than what I was living my life to be at that time.
So, what I've noticed about you as you've gotten older, you really don't have any fears of getting out of your comfort zone and setting goals and accomplishing your goals. What do you attribute that to?
I attribute that to focus. Focus is the biggest thing, and passion. I see something that I want, um, and I formulate a plan to get to that position, or the desired position that I want to be in, or the desired object that I want, and I accomplish it. And I think that my planning is the biggest thing, is to get me there is the plan.
Yes.
Sometimes those plans alter. Um, you know, doing the nursing and the BSN and the family nurse practitioner, we had kids during that. So we had to alter our plans, but we still made it.
Yeah. Yes, you have. So tell me, what is a typical day like for you as a chiropractor, a BSN, and a certified nurse practitioner? What is a typical day like?
Well, I get up every day at the same time, every morning. I get dressed. I have a routine that I perform, um, and I try to get out of here at the same time every morning. When I get to work, there's already patients there, so I get started with my day seeing patients. We do mostly physical therapy, rehabilitation, postoperative, and I'll see all my morning patients, and every day, and I've done this since I was about 20 years old. I at 12:30, sometimes on my lunchtime, every day, I sit down and I take a 20-minute nap, meditation, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
I shut my brain down, and it allows me to reset for the afternoon. So when I get started at 1 o'clock for uh, my evening or afternoon patients, I'm refreshed and ready to go.
Wow, that's great. That's
What
great.
My day doesn't end at 5. Once I'm finished, I finish up my paperwork. I finish up my computer work. I never leave a chart unopened, or unfinished. I try to finish them so my day doesn't become cumbersome or overwhelming the next day. Then I get home and spend quality time with my family, and try to get to sleep around the same time every night.
So we've discussed work. So now let's talk about the playtime. So, what do you like to do in your time, your free time? Um, what's your passion?
My passion has and probably always will be, family first, definitely, but cars. I absolutely love cars. I get that from my mother and father and my older brothers. I was 3, 4 years old, and I remember my oldest brother, Anthony, allowing me to shift the gears in his 1975 Vega. And I was hooked at that
So
point.
we know that you are passionate about cars, but what are some other hobbies that you do?
Um, Building cars. So my weekends and some evenings, when I get home, I try to spend time working on some of the vehicles that I have. I've had them for years, so I just upgrade them. So I spend my evenings kind of researching, what's the latest and the greatest parts. What the biggest thing is, my wife, she hardly ever drives and rides in the old cars with me, just because she's afraid that they're not 100% dependable. So I spend a lot of time making sure that they're 100% dependable, or at least 95%.
Got you, got you. That's great. That's great. So, of course, we have fun, we live our creative lives, and something that is very important is for us to take care of ourselves. And with you being in healthcare, I know that you see a lot of people over 50 who have different issues, health issues. And so, also, I know that you had a friend who passed away recently at the young age of 58. And so, how do you live your life in a healthy manner to increase your longevity? And what would you tell others to do to increase their longevity and have good health?
I think that we have phases of life. Um, I don't do the same things that I did when I was in my 20s and 30s, which was go to the gym, play basketball. Everybody grows older, joints just aches and everyday pains. Um, the thing that I would do is I would cater to my age group. And what I mean by that is in my 50s, you're coming to the end of some people coming to the end of their careers. They have to change their diet. They have to change their activity levels. They have to get out and walk just an hour and a half, 3 days of 30-minute walking a week would be, phenomenal. More salads, more fruits, more vegetables. In their 60s, when we say that we're going to retire, we tend to say that we're just going to sit around for 6 months, and do nothing because I've worked all of this time. That is the wrong thing to do. You have to grab a habit and an activity, something to keep you busy, something to keep you moving in life. That to me is one of the biggest things. It's our medicine. If you don't eat your medicine, you'll be taking your medicine in a pill form. So I think that that's a huge thing that we have to do in life. As young Black men, we look at our doctors. We go to the doctor and we think that's all that we need to do. Is what the doctor says. That's not 100% true. We have to be more proactive about our health care. We can't depend on the doctor 100%. We have to get out and move. We have to pay attention to our numbers. When I say numbers, our lab numbers, our cholesterol. Be diligent about taking our medication that the doctor puts us on. Be diligent about keeping the doctor accountable for if my numbers are not coming down, what more can I do? Gaining weight is not a good thing at all. You want to try your best to keep your weight at a healthy weight. And a healthy weight for everybody's different. But the biggest thing is a healthy weight is to make sure if you're walking and you're getting tired, if you're feeling dizzy, if it takes you a moment when you stand up to get your balance because you're dizzy or lightheaded, there's something going on. Those are signs and symptoms that you need to get your health care checked.
That's great advice. Great advice for us all. Very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Tony, my little brother. Dr. Tony, what advice or encouragement would you give others, to get out of their comfort zone and try and live a creative life?
Wonderful question. Um, you're never too old. You're never too old to fulfill your dreams, your accomplishments, your goals, your things that you want in life. My wife used to say all the time, I want a Corvette, and she said, "Well, let's just wait till we get older." And I told her, I said, "Well, I'm going to be too old to sit in the car, or to get out of the car." Um, that's something that that's not totally true. My brother-in-law's in his early 70s. He still rides in his vet. You just never get too old to do the things that you want to do. It's a mindset.
Exactly. It is a mindset. I was just thinking that. There's a recent study that showed that your level of optimism kind of goes hand in hand with your longevity.
I agree. And I think that since the day I was born, I've always looked at the cup half full, not half empty.
That's great. That's definitely a great way to look at life. So I know that you always have something going on. So what are your plans for this year?
Plans, we just started a couple of new businesses. Our first business is in addition to the current business, which would be a family practice part of the office, which I'd be able to give back to the community. Younger adults know how to live healthier lives and what to look for, in the future, because we're passing away at younger and younger ages. So if I could touch a younger generation and let them know, hey, this is how we need to live, starting with my own family and kids, I think that would be a good thing. The second thing is it goes back to my cars. We're starting. Since I was a young brother, so I had nieces and nephews and we're all close to the same age, and they call me Uncle Tony. So we have started Uncle Tony's Garage, and that allows where it's just apparel, hats, t-shirts, tumblers, things of that nature. So that allows my love for cars and my family to kind of come together as one. And we can kind of enjoy those things together. To get my older brothers together to go to some car shows and get their pictures and history. And we're going to do a YouTube channel. And
Oh, awesome.
yeah, the YouTube channel will, I will be able to interview my brothers and sisters and people who love cars, and kind of embed the history of cars in my little um, box on YouTube.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I can tell you that you are definitely living a creative life over 50. And I am so, so proud of my little brother, and the things that you and your family are doing. And thank you so much for joining me with my coffee chat. And I look forward to seeing your new YouTube channel.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I have enjoyed this immensely. I really, really had a great time.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed our coffee chat this evening. We want you to live creative, healthy, and happy lives. If you enjoyed the chat, please like and subscribe to Shelly's Creative Life. And until our next time, stay creative. Bye, friends.